out there. It's Knights of the Round Table Gaming, and today we are going to be having a fun talk about customization. Today at the round table, we have Lady Iceilla. How you doing, Iceilla?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. And how are you doing, Lord Mios?
I can't complain. How you doing?
Not too bad at all. And last but certainly not least, we have our fellow knight, Lord Kosh. How are you doing, Kosh?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing splendid. All right. So as I said before, we're going to be having talk about customization. And this can be either maybe wanting to have your spell book be a little more unique you, like in Rift, where you had options to build and match however you wanted your class to look, or something like Skyrim, where you could customize down to the length of your nose hairs. Anywhere in between. Because we've all seen games out there that have, a good story. Like WoW is a good example. It's got a lot of base models, but it's not a ton of customization. Whereas other games are kind of similar. So, any thoughts?
WoW getting customization? Please. Yes, please, Blizzard. Like, I am offering you my money at this point. I will forgive your past expansions.
We have the technology. We can rebuild him.
Would be nice to get a little more RP love, because I think that's, kind of the core idea of, can the customization counter if you can ignore the story? Like, if you can enjoy the RP of it more, or even just fan fiction character creation, can that make up for a lack of customization? Because look how long WoW has lasted.
Well, you also gotta remember, for WoW, most of their endgame stuff, the only reason they survive so long after the release of expansion is, one, their PvPers, because their PvPers keep coming back by the time the season, like a new season's out. Okay, PvP's back. Okay, get to have fun with that again. And the role players. And I've noticed that the role players are slowly leaving the game.
They definitely do seem to be. I've noticed that there have been a couple of servers where they have grouped together, but with the sharding and everything else they're doing, it does feel like Blizz is kind of making one step forward, two steps back when it comes to helping out the RP community that kind of keeps paying the bills when the raiders and the PvPers go home.
Yeah, I don't think they realize how much of a community they have for just RP in the game.
Yeah, and see, back to the customization, I've seen quite a few people RP like a half elf, half human, or I've even seen someone RP a half elf, half tauren. Or half troll, half tauren. It's like, come on, guys, give us like slight more customization. Like, I get it, some things wouldn't make sense in lore standpoint. Okay, fine, but still, let us choose different eye colors. Let us choose hair length. Let us choose if we can have skinny Terrans that are still that fucking tall. Like, please, let us have that customization.
A lot of room in the game for that.
It's true. Well, I mean, even just having body changes to fit the character themselves, I, for one, particularly love the Draenei Priest Borsch, who introduce you to light one way or the other. I'm particularly fond of that priest, but it would be nice to see more ones like Velen that aren't, throw a tauren priests.
That's an argument I make a lot. Like, I love the Draenei and their culture, but they all look like they can lift a tank. And that doesn't fit for say, like a caster. I've even recently thought of making an RP that pokes fun at that, and having a mage that beats the hell out of everything and doesn't realize he's basically a warrior.
You know what I wish? Different voices. Different voices for the females.
That's not just all one.
Yeah, because it's sort of sad when you get one voice and you decide to start doing /silly or /joke, And you hear the same voice from about 10 different people telling you all different jokes.
Wait a minute. Low customization, the same voice, like, man, it's like they're simulating Silicon Valley. I've got to give them crap.
Silicon Valley, we apologize. We mean no offense. Though, Rose, you do realize there's probably a mob that's going to start forming at some point outside the studio because of that.
Probably getting pitchforks and torches now.
I didn't make an idea joke. I said nothing along those lines. I am perfectly fine saying that no. But as far as customization goes, it would be interesting to just be able to have your character look different. But imagine, like, how many races in the game have magical glowing eyes? What if you could do that to a human? I mean, a lot of them, the eye glow is from natural magic. What happens when your character RC just has...
Mage, cough, cough, cough. Mage, cough, 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 cough.
Exactly, or just changing the hue of the color. It's like, okay, so in Night Elf lore, Gold Eyes is special. So every male Night Elf in the game is special and has a destiny, but none of the female Night Elves do.
And don't you forget that... No, seriously, I agree.
Well, it's like we finally got Nightwell Eyes for the elves and Sunwell Eyes for the other elves. It's like,
By the way, the dark eyes and the light eyes are only for one skin tone. You can't
that's
have
another
it
one, yeah.
with any other skin tone, so you're screwed.
They've got a few options with the golden eyes on Blood Elves, but Night Elves have next to no options. Like Blood Elves, you can just go
only
golden
one.
eyes. No, not on Blood Elves. On Blood Elves, it's literally just changed the option at the barber. But for Night Elves, it's that, yeah.
Yeah, it's only one for the Night Elves.
And that's a problem, or Cultiran females, it's like, okay, if you're a whole warden or something like that, awesome. But what if you want to RP as a sister of Stormsong? You kind of throws off the character when you look like, well, an Oarsman.
Yeah.
You eat rocks for a living?
Exactly. Yeah. No, go ahead.
The Death Knight has blue glowy eyes on all races.
Yes, but to be fair, that is the magic that's coursing through the Death Knights.
But what if they could be changed for the different classes? Like Unholy's got green glowy eyes, or Blood has red glowy eyes.
You know what? That would actually be pretty cool, now that you've mentioned it.
Yeah?
Or if you could Oh, go ahead, Gosh.
Sorry. One thing I'd like to see, after all the wars we've been through, why is it that Sylvanas is only bringing back humans for her Forsaken?
A very good point, actually.
No, she brings back she by canon she does have Kaldorai, Sindorai, and Terran.
Yeah, but they're all the human model.
Yeah, it's all human model, though.
The Rangers aren't. The Dark Rangers use the Sindorai or the Kaldorai models.
Why can you only play a freaky dead roddy human dude? When virtually every race has been theoretically raised by Sylvanas.
I have yet to see an undead Draenei.
Or an undead orc. That would be cool.
Undead orc. Yeah, that would be cool. Undead Draenei. Is that sort of like their faith? They can't really be brought back?
Yeah, I think they just kind of explode or something. I don't know.
No, that's Lightforge. A Draenei can be returned, but long, intricate thing for lore for a completely different conversation.
I think we actually did face undead ones in Burning Crusade.
Yeah, we'll say that for another topic. Especially if you guys comment down below that you want to hear that for another topic. We'll definitely move it up on the list. But no, back to the customization. Yeah, we really like that, all the appearances would be great. But there is another part of customization we have not touched.
Spells.
Spells and abilities in World of Warcraft. We
It'd be so fun.
We have every single type of mage. Like, I'm going to use mage because why not? You have every single type of mage under the sun that we have seen every single type of magic there is. So, but we can only pick to be frost only, pyro only, or arcane only.
And that's a good
Someone
point,
see a
too.
problem. Someone see a problem with this, right?
Well, even
Time
in the
Mage would be
lore,
really nice.
I'll see. Yeah, that'd be good. And even in the lore, they state that the mages of Dalaran would actually study all kinds of sorts of magics, except for ones that were explicitly forbidden to them. But that's how even characters like Kael Thuzad came into existence. He was studying necromancy books when he wasn't supposed to be.
And look at Jaina. We've seen Jaina multiple times use both arcane and frost magic. Usually at the same time.
And although Shadowlands is supposed to bring back the idea of your class being your class, it would be nice to get a bit more customization, or it start out with a clean character, just base whatever you are, and then train how you want. What if you have a Tauren with dreads that desperately wants to be a rogue? Why not? Why can your Tauren not pursue it?
Well, I'm just going to use the D&D excuse in this. Hooves.
Yeah, but if they can be agile enough to be a monk, and at that point, with every feat of technology out there, like, what did you put? Horseshoes? No. Slippers. Put a muffler on them.
Clop, clop, clop. You turn around, there's a tree there. Huh. You walk down the road, clop, 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 clop. Turn around, it's the same tree. Ah!
You could even just put something to, like a bit of fur across the bottom of the hoof, but imagine if you could, like, okay, I want a rogue stealth. I want a warrior's ability, or a paladin's ability to use a shield. A warrior's ability to do the two-handed hand in one weapon. I want an arcane or a mage's blink ability, where you could build your own set of toys.
I see,
Okay.
that's the meat and potatoes of it. Yes.
I
You have
hate to
customize
say
the
this,
spells.
but let's go. I want to go back to Legion for a moment. Everyone remember what the Legion trailer looked like with Sylvanas and Varian? May he rest in pieces. Remember those two fighting with each other? And you didn't see that loading bar when he went from one sword to two? There was no loading bar for him to change his specs. Why can't we do that?
It was kind of cool.
Because at that point, your character is your character. Why is it only the name ones have that kind of thing? If we're supposed to be an important character, give us the customization to make our champion the actual champion that, like, hey, champion, you've been through this or that. It's like, okay, let me actually make them so they're my character.
To even quote some of the things from said heroes, at one point in Sylvanas' life, she's a Dark Ranger, so she's basically just an archer that's chosen to use shadow magics. But earlier in her life, she was a ranger that chose to use mana. So why can't I do that?
Yeah.
See, I find it absolutely hilarious that Blizzard's favorite characters has all these customization. And meanwhile, we don't get to have our customization. It's Blizzard. You're rubbing it in our faces that this is possible.
Well, I'm thinking we have some advancing to do before we get to their level.
It's really hard not to get to their level when they keep cap blocking us at level 100, 110, or what's the newest level going to be? Way back down into double digits again?
60, yeah.
I mean, it's like, okay, so Sylvanas, I'll give you that. Sylvanas was one of the greatest rangers ever. Cool. I can't play the same kind of ranger, though, because I don't have the abilities to choose the same schools of magic and spells that she had.
The one spell that Marksman Hunter had for it that was even close to was that was it Dread Arrow or something like that would spawn a Shadowhound that would taunt the target, and that was a single talent at level 30 that they ended up removing.
Well, even going beyond that, say the more traditional rangers in the Warcraft lore, like say again Sylvanas, she used basically mage spells. She would cast like frost arrows that slowed targets.
Well, that's what hunters were originally before they decided to streamline crap around Cataclysm. And I use the term very loosely.
And if you look at, say, Tyrande, you could say that she's using light magic. Her spells are usually centered around light or celestial magic.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, Blizzard, you're showing us that these combinations are possible. A mage is a mage, a rogue is a rogue, and a druid is a druid. So why do we have to pick between them? Why can't we pick from the different sections? Like, again, I will bring this up. I am a Mist person. I came into World of Warcraft back in Mist, where we had to pick one or the other. But I'm hearing from so many people from back in Vanilla and everything, where there was trees, and they could pick from the trees and learn that way.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
It was beautiful.
So
I mean, you could do buff build for different things where you brought no damage, but you had every buff in the game. I mean, there was a ton of fun stuff that you could do. You could mix and match, so you had Tree of Life and Boomkin. It's just like, what are you? Master, Shapeshifter, Caster of everything.
I remember now aim shot is one of your primary damage spells for Hunter, but I had to spec into that.
Oh, yeah, I remember when I needed 11 talents just to get the damn thing.
See, you know what annoys me? I used to be a PvPer. I loved doing PvP work. And I made a rogue. I actually couldn't PvP with my group anymore because I did no salty rogue. I'm an assassination rogue. It's what I play. It's what I love. But in PvP, the salty rogue is the best rogue to play. So guess what everyone was playing?
Subtlety Rogue.
Yeah. And since I don't play salty rogue, it didn't matter that I was a rogue. It didn't matter that I was a good assassination rogue. I didn't have one spell, so...
Oh, yeah. Like, they've gone so hard into the meta that there's no customization whatsoever because you have to play to the meta. And it's like, okay, what if I don't want the meta? What if I don't want you have to take this talent and this piece of Azurite gear and this, etc., for the best numbers? What if you've created something like Anna for Overwatch? Okay, what if I want to create a healer that heals by shooting people in the back of the head with arrows? Like, be healed, be healed, be healed. You know, what if I want to remove the damage that somebody has taken by aim-shotting them straight into the ass? It's like, yes, 10k crit heal. Can you please remove the arrow from my glute after I'm done gloating about my heal?
And you know what? Blizzard, come on, you talk about customization and you promise customization. But every single time it's Blizzard's turn to deliver, they've always, and I mean always, have fallen through. Remember the garrisons?
You mean player housing?
Yep.
They promised that stuff was going to be completely customizable. And
I remember hearing
to
that.
a point, it was a bit customizable. To the point where one in every 10 people had a different garrison. Everyone else had almost the same.
Yep. Set of profession buildings, the PvP building if you PvP'd, and the barn for everything else.
Yeah, so It wasn't that customizable, especially when you couldn't pick the full layout of said garrison. This had to go here. This had to go there.
And even if the game is rather old and needs a bit of an upgrade to its equipment, the little bit of effort would be nice. I mean, the fact that we're finally getting tattoos for Wildhammer dwarves can Shadowlands, at least that's according to BlizzCon. It's not a spoiler, Google it.
Right?
It's been out long enough, just Google it, okay? It's if you're all that pissed at me, I sincerely don't care. I apologize, but I don't. Just Google it. But if we're getting Wildhammer tattoos finally after this amount of time, when Skyrim has been out long enough to have a remastered edition, why Blizzard? That's what I want to know. Why is it we?
Sorry, Rose, to interrupt you, but I actually want to point out something. Blizzard WoW originally had tattoos. It was a shirt you could get, and they gave you almost like full upper body tattoos, arms, chest, like almost like the Illidari tattoos. They took the item out of game. They made it impossible for you to get, except for the very few who got it way back when it was an actual thing.
That's the Dragon Slayer tattoo, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're saying, oh, we're bringing back tattoos for one race. When you know you have it for every race.
Supposedly everyone's going to get them, but it's still the length of time it's taken to get something that simplistic.
Lightforged Draenei, the Illidari, and now Wildhammer dwarves.
Well, no, it's just normal dwarves, but they're giving us the tattoos. Other things are getting tattoos as well. Like, they're trying to bring in the customization that we're talking about, but even still, it could use more of the spell kind of aspect. Because, they actually are bringing in different styles of hair and eyes and stuff like that, so you actually can have dreads or what have you instead of the hair options that are there now.
Now, here's what I'm sort of worried about. It's nice that we're getting all this customized stuff. I am hoping we can have full access to this in the barber. I'm really hoping we have full access to this in the barber, because I remember a time where if you want to change your face for any reason, you had to actually pay cash money to change your face appearance. And I got so annoyed because I went to change my face, because I spent that money to change my face appearance because Blizzard was up-resing everything. And it wasn't part of the whole patch notes because I looked. But they made it possible for you to change your appearance in the barbershop. And It's like, okay, Blizzard, you're still telling us we have to pay money to do this on your website. And we can do it in the barbershop. So now I'm going, if you're giving us this customization, can we do it in the barbershop? Or are we going either A, have to pay money to do it, or B, create new characters?
I would imagine they're going to put it in the barbershop. My issue is that it was announced at BlizzCon, so it's like, hold your breath for it! I'm not a freediver, and even if I was, they can't do it that long. We've been waiting for player housing for how long?
And by the time we got it, it was a pain to do.
Yeah.
The garrison of wah-wah.
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt you, Kosh. Go ahead.
Sorry, just bad timing. I remember hearing one time before the garrisons came out that your alts were supposed to be able to be followers, and then they didn't do it.
Yeah, I remember that bit of info too.
Yeah,
and that's my biggest thing. Are we going to get what we were actually promised in the up-resing? Because, it's... We as a community have been around these games long enough that we clearly care, love them enough to want to see them succeed. It would be nice to get some love from them on making these characters our own as much as they want to pretend that we have that option. Because compare spells versus Rift and customization versus tech. Even Eve has more customization.
And that's the funny thing about that. Again, say like Eve as an example, you don't see very much of your character ever, but they have so much more in-depth character customization.
Exactly. To the point where you can actually pick what your picture looks like that people see by. It's like, well, certainly can't change what my little targeting reticle image looks like without, other than the MOG. And let's be perfectly honest here, if they hadn't introduced MOG, WoW never would have survived because its options for updating are that, and for customization are that out of date.
And can I also bring up the fact that the MOG options are also limited? Because wielding fist weapons, like having the back blade to hold a blade of Fang style, if you guys don't know what that is, it's putting the blade against your having the blade run back against your forearm. Like, there's only, as far as I know, 2 blades like that in the game that are not before they brought in the Illidari. Now that they brought in the Illidari, there's a bit more, which, thank you. But still, it's like, come on, Blizzard, bring more in.
Just even getting the option for how you hold your weapons would be kind of nice, or whether or not you're a southpaw. I think it would be kind of nice to be able to hold the shield in the right hand rather than the left.
Yeah, that would be good, because it's like, okay, Blizzard, you're automatically saying not everyone's the same. Meanwhile, you're treating us all like we're a cookie cutter.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, show us some love, because we aren't cookie cutters as people. Why on earth should we be treated as such as players? And I think it stands kind of the question is, can a lack of customization, can a good enough story and enough nostalgia counteract a lack of customization? And I think in a lot of ways we're going to find that out with Shadowlands, because they promised us a lot of stuff that looks like the game is supposed to be something we can all enjoy and create our own unique characters, but much like all BlizzCon prices, promises, who's game for holding their breath?
I'm hopeful.
Right.
I'll sit and watch, because Blizzard's promised way too much and has broken way too many of their promises. This current expansion, Battle for Azeroth, was supposed to be very, very promising. I am sorry, but it has almost sucked as much as Warlords.
I don't know. I think Murder for Azurite is an incredibly useful middle ground expansion. Like Cataclysm and Warlords before it. It is there just so you know that your money is going somewhere.
The most important thing about this expansion has been development of Sylvanas' story. But that's not what they told us we were getting.
It's not even much of Sylvanas' story, because the NPCs themselves have been going, this is not Sylvanas.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think Sylvanas is being controlled.
We touched base on that in the past one, I believe. So
we did indeed.
So go check out our other videos. It's somewhere in our playlist down below.
But that does actually wrap us up. So good way to end on another episode plug. Anyway, that is it for Knights of the Round Table here. We hope to see you all back again sometime.
Join us next time, and everyone, happy hunting.
Y'all come back now, you hear?